Our next speaker is Brad Johnson, class of '71, who set the stage for the glory years of Gene King. Actually, when we were in college, we used to say, the TKE guide used to say, maybe it still does, it's a fraternity for life. In the last 10 years, Brad and I have spent so much time together, we have a new meaning what it says, fraternity for life. Brad is what I call the CEO of our Alumni Corporation, and he's been a great pillar for our fraternity, for the young guys here, and a very dear friend of mine. And so I call Brad up to speak a few words, and hopefully he will be kind to me.
John, thank you. I've got some prepared remarks, but I really want to start by saying that this entire process that we started, I remember that fateful day that Joe Emick called me and asked if he could stop by my law office just to have a chat, and he introduced me to the fraternity partnership. I think that was spring of '90, may have been fall of '99. I never know why I took that call at the time. I never know why I made that appointment. But anyway, here we are, 2008, after many iterations on a building plan with this absolutely gorgeous structure, and for which I'm so grateful for the assistance and as well as the encouragement from both Brother John and Brother Ken through this entire process. Clearly, when you work on something this many number of years and go through a variety of plans and revisions, that sometimes the interest will lag. But when you've got brothers like Ken and John to support you, you always want to redouble your efforts, and for that I'm very grateful to both of you. President White, trustees, deans, college staff, members of the faculty, alumni, honoraries, welcome and thank you very much for attending this very special event for us celebrating the dedication of this new house. It's a beautiful addition to Wabash, and it's a great home for the Wabash Teaks. First and foremost, I would be remiss if I did not make note of the fact that this new facility would not be possible without the vision as well as the dedication of our Board of Trustees to the fraternity system as a whole. Many people around the country don't understand Wabash College as to how they are willing to dedicate the time, effort, and money for a Greek system when in many academic institutions they discourage the Greek system. Many of them don't understand that how can a college turn over, and Dean Raiders will appreciate this, on freshman Saturday the housing decisions for 70% of your students to 20-year-olds. What institution in their right mind would do that? Well, we do it for a very important reason, because we have so much confidence and faith in these young men that they will make the right decisions, that they will be able to manage these assets that we've put into the ground for them. And I think the proof of it is every freshman week that we have at Wabash College. And that special relationship of the Board of Trustees and the college as a whole to fraternities is evidenced by what's transpired the last 10 years. We've got marvelous facilities for Greek life at Wabash College, and I personally am very grateful for the fact that we do have a college that's so supportive of the Greek system. That support was particularly critical for the Teaks, because I think, as everyone knows about our history, we had some very rocky times in the early 90s. In a sense, when you go through the birthing of a 10th fraternity, which in a sense is what the Teaks did, bringing another fraternity onto campus, you sometimes don't survive that process. And there were some days in perhaps the early to mid-90s that it was questioned whether or not the Teaks would survive. But thankful to the efforts of many alums, Mike Chirva in particular, Melchior in the early and mid-90s, the chapter did survive. And they laid a great foundation for subsequent alumni to become involved. And again, I'm very grateful for the efforts that they made. When the fraternity was in trouble, they stepped up and they did the tasks. I've regretted many times when I got the call from Dean Hadley in the early 90s that for whatever reason I wasn't able to step up at that time. But I'm grateful to you, Mike, and to Vic for what you've done. For the remainder of my remarks, I really want to address the current students at Wabash Teaks today. We alumni are really particularly pleased and are proud of you of what you've done here in just the last few years. And we share your excitement as well about this new house, and very special reason, because ironically, it was 40 years ago this September that John and I and others of our era set foot into a new house as well. And we understand the excitement that you feel. We understand how this is all new and how this is really a new era in many respects for Tau Kappa Epsilon at Wabash. And while you may feel in some sense, and we did certainly at that time, that was the culmination of a long effort, in many respects though, it's the beginning of a new era. And because of that, and because of that blessing of the new home, I think it's a unique opportunity for the chapter now to continue its efforts of improvement. I just want to note some of the improvements the chapter has made here just in the last half dozen years. As Richard pointed out earlier, the membership has doubled to its highest level in over 15 years, and that's quite an accomplishment. Moreover, the strength of the Brotherhood is evidenced by the fact that in the last 5 years, I believe we've only lost 3 members to the de-pledging process out of all the members that have passed through the house. I don't think there's any other house on campus that can make that claim. Our academic standing on campus has risen dramatically, and that's clearly the effort of the young men. No one can do it for them, and they have shown their ability to do that. And probably what I'm most proud of is the fact that their presence on campus in leadership positions is significantly higher than it was several years ago, and we're quite proud of that. And because we alumni applaud you for that and for your recent achievements, we want you to take full advantage of this wonderful gift. But I also want to suggest to you, I got 5. I do want to suggest to you that you can even improve on what you've done here in recent years. I'm an amateur historian. I love history. I love to read about the past. It gives me such a reflection on why things are the way they are today. I was reading something about the accomplishments of a Wabash fraternity in some archives recently, and let me just tick off some of the things that I found very interesting. This particular chapter had a GPA on a 3-point scale of 2.24. That was the highest recorded at any time for a living unit at Wabash College at the time. This was a small fraternity. They only had 25 members at the time. They had 3 honor scholars, an Albert Sloan scholar, a General Motors scholar, and a Baker scholar. They had 2 members on the debate team. 3 members were campus speakers. 2 members were on the 4-man, what was called Campus Center Board. 2 members on the senior council. 2 members on the freshman council. An all-state wrestling champion, and members of the varsity football, baseball, and tennis teams. Several members in the Glee Club and several cast members in what was called Scarlet Mask at the time, the theater productions. And a 1st and a 3rd place in the Baldwin Oratorical Contest. And the winner of the Hart Award for the Outstanding Freshman. All of these accomplishments took place in one academic year. Now the chapter that I'm referring to is the rechartered chapter of Tau Kappa Epsilon in the fall of 1962. They recruited men like Ken Shield and Jerry Blossom. And if a TKE chapter in that era can accomplish it, I'm sure that our chapter here today can continue that legacy of outstanding accomplishment. I mean, after all, gentlemen, history's on your side. You cannot fail in that respect. And all of us here are in support of you on that. Thank you so much.